every person in your chair. You're going to discover in a few minutes, I'm going to count to 3, and when I do, you're going to discover this to be true. Each and every person up here, you are part of a world-class orchestra. Each and every person up here, you play an instrument perfectly. Some of you play the piano, the drums, the trombone. Who knows? It's your instrument. I want you to see it. See it. If it's a guitar, see it. If it's drums, see it. If it's violin, see it. See it in your mind's imagination right now. For in a moment, we're going to sit up. At the count of 3, you're going to keep your eyes closed and get ready to tune up those instruments, because people from all over the world have come to see you play, and you are the best of the best, the cream of the crop. That's right. At the count of 3, sitting up in your seat, keeping your eyes closed, put your hand on your chosen instrument, and let's get ready to tune them up. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Sitting up in your seat, put your hand on your instruments, keeping your eyes closed, getting ready to tune them up perfectly. Perfectly. And as you do, tune those instruments up. That's right. Tune them up. And there you go. Got it. Perfect. All right. The maestro is here. It seems that we are ready. And begin.
That's Ryan. That was a great clip. That's the first time I've seen that. But that was West Virginia State Fair was the State Fair West Virginia was so good. Ryan, good pick on the clip.
Thank you.
I miss you. I'm used to being around you all the time now. I'm spoiled.
I know. We'll talk. We'll let you do your thing.
Okay, we have things to do.
Wait a minute, I see some new stuff in the room there. Do I see some new memorabilia?
Ooh, I rearranged it. I'll have to give you a tour later on.
Yes.
I did some rearranging.
I think did you put the new posters in this particular vicinity?
I did, and I have a whole carry cabinet, which is kind of cool.
I should hope so, because, I mean, everybody should have a carry cabinet. I think it's
They
important.
really should.
Yes.
I really should. I
Well,
mean,
it's like, Brian, I can't believe you had time to rearrange the room. I mean, you came back from West Virginia, went right to Niagara Falls, which
I think
saw
they call
your
that
pictures.
ADD, don't they?
Yeah, ADD people, get it done, baby.
It's called Star Wars ADD.
and I know it well.
Oh, I mean, I guess let's see that. Oh, you got me on, John. Okay.
Okay. I am really happy to be back. Ryan, Todd, Dora, we have all kinds of
person in your chair.
Whoops. What was that?
You're going to discover.
I'm just selecting another clip
Oh,
for you.
okay. So we just I'm so happy to be back with you, and we have people here in the studio audience, as we call it, right, Ryan? It's the studio audience.
Well, people missed you.
I missed everybody. Did you miss everybody too?
I did, but I wasn't allowed to go on without you.
Oh my God, we're gonna go with that again. You're a storyteller, and that's it.
No, I was
you
waiting.
know that isn't true.
Okay.
You know it isn't true.
John, back me up here, buddy.
Johnny, my son is not going to back that up. I am super excited. Let me see who's here.
Who's here?
You know what? That clip that Ryan showed, the lady, Ryan, do you remember the lady on the end that was touching?
Playing people.
She was playing people like they were instruments, and we were dying. I mean, sometimes when I'm,
Yeah.
Even though I've seen thousands of hypnotized people in my life, I am still always
And you're around me, and I'm hypnotized all the time.
You know what I always tell people? My husband thinks he's never been hypnotized.
He's constantly
No,
hypnotized.
he hasn't been awake in 11 years. That's what I
That's
tell people.
exactly right.
But the truth is that
That's probably why I sleep so well, too. She just says to me, it's
He
time to
is
go
a
to bed
master of
and sleep.
yeah, that's so true. But even though I've seen so many people hypnotized, it's still to this day. Mariana, do you agree with me that when you look at someone that's really entranced deep, it's still such one of those things that you just can't believe what you're looking at, even though you've seen it and done it and
Well, there's no
performed it.
telling what people are going to do. It's always something
but it's
different.
just to see the glassy eyes.
I thought that
and
the
when a
guy was
somnambulist-
going to give himself a heart attack, the
Oh, he was
drummer.
incredible. The drummer, he was.
I mean, the guy was working
Ryan, do you
hard.
remember-
He was really good later on in the show. I think he was the guy who had to give you pickup lines. He was the pickup.
Oh, the
you were
pickup artist. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me that was one of my favorite shows, and largely because we had such a cast of characters, and the lady on the end.
Kept playing with that guy's hair, even afterwards.
Oh, I know. But she was fantastic, and she was.
Well,
just
for
so
those of
deep
you who
in.
don't know, explain where you were and what you were doing.
Oh, I think
Not
everybody
everybody. Oh,
knows.
everybody knows.
Okay, so the State Fair.
We're
West
all born with
Virginia,
that information and planted in our
Brian
minds.
and Linda Kornreich and Mariana and myself. I rented a house.
But
for
people
our
came
stay,
and visited
we
too,
had
right?
Pajama parties.
Did you have a
every
lot of visitors?
We did. We had great visitors. Good question. We had Amy Perkins, who came with her husband, Todd. And the funny thing about that was that I'd never met Amy before. And she and her husband, Todd, were in the audience, but I didn't know it was them. So my first show that they came to was a mentalism show. So they came to the mind reading show. And they were the first. Remember, I looked for two people to bring up, as I always do, to bring them up on the connection piece. So I bring them up. Where are you going?
I'm leaving. I've had it.
I miss you.
No, I was going to just
Oh,
start.
you
I wanted
put
to
the
start.
clock on to keep me in check.
No, just a little reference point.
But I brought Amy Perkins and her husband on stage, and I didn't know I had them on stage. But I kept thinking, she looks so familiar. But a lot of people look familiar to me.
Well, all white people look alike anyway.
Oh, God, Todd, I am done. I mean, really, you're going to get me kicked off here.
I don't know
and
how
I will
that's
be
possible.
So mad at you.
You could say anything you want about white people. Anything.
Oh, God.
Anything goes.
Yes. Well,
Don't you know?
be that as it. Yeah. So Amy and after the show, she said, "You don't know who I am, do you?" I said,
Oh,
I
she's
knew it right
she's
away.
the one that has all the Tammy memorabilia too.
No, that's Tammy Williams.
Oh.
Right? Tammy
Wilson.
Wilson. Sorry, we
There's
have a
a
Tammy
lot of
Wilson,
Tammys running
and we
around.
have a Tammy Williams, and we have and you know what? They were all named after your mom's character in the
John,
movie.
can the 5 camera get her?
Okay, so I'll say who else came to the, gosh, we had Cheryl Murray came, and and her partner, and it was awesome. And then who? Tammy Anastasia, she came. At Debbie Augustine, and oh my gosh, names are just flying through my head, and I know her name like I know my own. But remember the pretty blonde with the blue eyes and her husband? I mean, I know her name like I know my own, but right now I'm just so excited I can't think
Missy?
of it. Huh?
Missy?
No, we met Missy.
We met Missy, but no.
Oh, she wasn't a Facebook.
No, she lives in West
viewer.
Virginia. Let's see. Oh gosh, I know her name. This is crazy. We see her. We see
Well,
her
how
every
many
year, and
how
her
many
husband is
people
great,
from
too.
this show came to visit?
Quite a few, and it was really great.
More than 10?
No, about Debbie Lewis. That's it, and her husband Brian. Yes, and so I didn't get to see him, but it was the weirdest thing. I was standing on a street corner with no makeup on, some schlumpy outfit. And I was standing on the corner because I needed to go. I wanted to go to the bra shop if we have to get specific. Remember, it was called the Black Box. Look at Ryan. I said, I know we don't have time to do
You know, that's a
anything,
store that I don't think I've ever wanted to go to.
but I have to go to the Black Box bra shop because the window is full of bras, and I just had to go there. Custom bras, right? Some girls need custom bras, and I'm one of them. So I went in there. And I got my bra really fast, and I came out, and I'm standing on the corner, watching all the boys, all the boys. What?
Or standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, with a flatbed Ford or a bra.
Or bra. Take a look at me. So I was there, standing on the corner with horn-rimmed glasses, no makeup, and a schlumpy outfit, and dirty hair, because I hadn't had a shower yet. And this guy pulls up on the corner, and he goes, "Hey, Kat!" And I'm like, who knows me here, right? I mean, who could even recognize me? And I was like this, "Hi!" And he goes, I'm, her name is Debbie. I'm Debbie Lewis's husband. And we had all taken a picture together at the Greenbrier, so it was really, it was just, it's such a cool town, Lewisburg, West Virginia. Everyone there is so nice. And I on one of the last nights I was there, Ryan, I don't know if you remember this, but I was standing on the stage. I was so overwhelmed by everyone's kindness. Men still open doors for women. I like that. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
you were in the U.S.?
Yes. And I'm like, thank you so much. Men don't know what to
No,
do
no,
anymore.
you know,
They're confused because women have beaten them for being gentlemen, and
Not
so when a man,
all, right?
well,
Not
no,
all.
but it's really true. They don't know what to
You
do.
don't think it's you don't think it's a little geographical?
Well, today when I was going to the New Orleans hotel, a guy went to open the door, and then he looked a little scared, like, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, and I said, "Oh my God, thank you so much," because I really like that. I like a gentleman. So, at the last night, Ryan, or one of the last nights I was there, I was so overcome by the kindness and humility of people. So many veterans there, and they love our country so much. This state, and I just said it on stage. I said, "Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you." And I hadn't even done my opening yet. And I said, "Thank you for letting me work in a place where I can say God, I can say Jesus, I can say how much I love this country, and I can love our law enforcement, and I can love our military. And thank you for giving me a safe place to be and to perform." And
Standing ovation.
they went nuts. And it was like not why I did it. I just absolutely was overcome with that feeling of American
There are a
pride.
lot of places in this country. If you look at the country from the bird's eye view, it's There are just certain city centers that have gotten lost temporarily,
Yeah.
and I don't believe they'll stay that way. I mean,
Right.
it'll become very apparent, and is becoming very apparent as we speak. Everything is becoming very apparent.
Yes.
And sooner or later, this will be a different use for the term awakening.
Right. Well, you
A
know,
reawakening.
it was just, the trip was very good for me because not only did I get to meet a lot of you, but I also reconnected with what I love to do. And it had been such a long time, really, since I had done that and had such great audiences. And Mariana, didn't you feel so much love there, really? And so it was great.
That came to every single show. You see,
Yes. Yes. Every single show.
if there was anybody else there or not, or what the show was, they didn't care. They just came to be there.
And there's a guy.
If she's going to be talking like that, give her the microphone.
Oh, that's right. So Mariana was just saying that there were people that came to every single show. And we did 30 shows. We did 30 shows in 10 days. It was brutal. But I came home energized and exhausted both at the same time, but I was spiritually energized. So I just want to see who's in the room and say hi to everybody. And then, so Mark and Kathy Gans, Julie Maston, Donna Bell. Hi, Donna. That's a new name for me. Debbie Augustine, Cheryl Murray, Terry Dixon is my Ferruccio here. Lisa Keen, Paula Watts, Nikki Luongo, so funny. Tammy Williams. As one of the Golden Girls said, as a woman, I don't want to be treated as an equal to a man. I want to be treated better. I think it was Blanche. I saw your mom's episode of the Golden Girls when we were in.
I bet it's cute.
Remember that,
Oh,
Ryan?
yes.
I was like, look at
Yes.
that. Debbie is visiting. There, we have some channel that I'd never seen before, and there's your mom right there on the Golden Girls. It was great. Tracy Saunders, Christian Powell, Anna Maria McCall, and Matthew Decker, Bill Bliss. No, Bill Biss. Hi, Bill. Brenda McFamily. Probably see you tomorrow, Brenda. Paula Mickle, Catherine Furman, Stacy Jacobs, Debbie Starr Jackson. Oh, Debbie, I hope you're feeling good. Sharon Amorosa, Ron Hibbs. And, you know what's funny? There's a name here. Let me look at it again. It's Barbara Hammond. Barbara Hammond, who just happens to be sitting right there. Can you, I don't know if you can get.
You could steal my camera. Well, let me see now. Which camera would actually
So
pick her up?
Barbara came in. We got
Hey, pull her out over here a little bit. Forward.
forward. So
Pull
Barbara
her
came
forward
in.
about 3 feet in front of the steps.
There you
like
go.
that.
And-
Oh, right there. Now there's a camera up there that should be able to
Can
pick
you see
up.
her from there, John? Yeah, here, I'll show you. Okay, and that one he has some control of.
Oh, no, she's in the shadows. No. Use my camera.
Well,
just
you're
turn.
going to get, if we can get a light on Barbara, and in the meantime,
You
what
can
I'm
turn
going to
the-
do is just say that we've had a really fun couple of days, and Barbara's got a microphone, so in a moment when we get a light, there, look at.
All right,
look at
now you
Dora
can do it,
Elena
John.
Fernandez has a.
Try it now, John.
Dora, when you got here, you had no production experience, and look at you now.
Lighting director.
Still dark? Okay, we'll just,
No,
there
no,
you go. We're
no,
making
it's
it happen.
Put her in the aisle.
In the aisle.
Shove her
Push
forward
out.
all the
There
way to
you
the aisle.
go.
Put her all the way in the aisle.
There you go.
Keep going. Right there. Now you're talking.
There. More, like another 3 feet.
No, she's all right.
No, I can't. I
I
can't.
bet you that camera
I
is
can
right.
see it right there.
You can't see it. The camera's not hot.
Oh, okay.
Heat up 5.
Here she is, Barbara. Look how beautiful you look.
I just got a ride to my location. Dora pushed me here, so
Yeah, that's right.
We give service.
I
Barbara, are
have
you
my
having
back
fun?
on the host.
You having fun, Barbara?
I am.
She's
It's been wonderful.
here how long? A couple of days worth.
What day did you get here?
I got here Thursday afternoon.
Okay. And she's going home on Monday, and she has, and I've been crazy busy, but you're a very easy guest because you are self-entertaining when I'm not here.
And you put her in the Holy of Holies.
I did.
Yes.
So, Barbara,
I am
where-
honored to be staying in Debbie's room.
And,
And it's just wonderful in there. There's all this memorabilia, and I love it. She kept the room so dark because she worked at night, and she wanted to sleep in. And so every day I've been here, I've slept in.
because there's no windows in her bedroom.
Yeah, I
Right.
remember we were building that room, and the guy that was building the room goes, "Okay, where do you want the windows?" And she goes, "No windows." He says, "No, seriously." "No, I am serious. No windows." "Well, there's got to be. You have to have windows." She goes, "Well, I don't care. So if you have to have windows to get through the inspection period, then put in the window, and then when the inspector's gone, tear it out and block it up."
Exactly. I remember that night. And I thought, Elvis didn't have windows either. What? Oh, my mic. I'm going down to Barbara because I want to show you where your cameras are up there. All right? So we're both now looking up there.
There we go.
There
All
you
right.
go. So the cameras are up there because we've never had a guest there.
Well, that's the lower section.
Huh?
She's in the sitting area.
Yes. So
Go to the camera 1, John, so they could see where she is in relation to the set.
There.
See, she's in the middle of the room there. See that?
I'm sitting here with my back to Cat and Todd.
yes.
And
That's
the
right.
stage.
But you could look if now when she's talking, you could look to the monitor on your right, like show.
Right.
So if Kat was talking or I was talking, you'd be able to look to the monitor.
So John will hit the cameras and they'll change. But so Barbara, what's been your favorite part about visiting?
Well, aside from meeting you
Oh,
and meeting Todd and meeting Dora, and the animal. Oh, and Mariana and Letty.
yes.
And John. I think meeting all the animals
Oh yeah.
and getting to pat the emu. Dora was very patient. She knew that he would warm up to me eventually, or she rather, because she kept running away, kind of sidling away and playing games. And then she got her to lie down. So I got to pat the emu. And I actually put that picture on Facebook, and I had somebody go, "Is that an?"
Not many people. She doesn't do that for everybody. You've been blessed.
I think. Well, Dora.
Blessed by the emu.
Dora
Did she
paved
say
the way
Domini
with
Patri
me.
Spiritus Sancti?
Yeah, but Dora can get that emu to lay down, as can Letty. Those are the
Yes.
two women that can get that. And our landscaper, Narciscus.
There's a few guys.
Narcisco. He can get the emu to lay down.
Well, Dora
And-
paved the way for me with all of the animals because all of the kittens ran and hid under the couch when I came. And she coaxed them all out, and she would hold them so that I could pet them. And then they were okay with it.
Yes. And how many kitties are in there? 7. We are up to 9 cats here. They're all. John is getting them. Monday is getting them fixed. Is that what it's called? Neutered, spayed.
Yep.
And then they'll be. We were only going to. I think I'm going to keep Mama and Snowball. Yes. And that. Yeah, that's right. Look at Ryan, who didn't even like cats. Look, I'm telling you. They are so cute, but
Well,
then
but-
that leaves. We want to. I don't want to give them away one at a time. I want people to take 2 because they are so 2 at a time. Because look at Dora's
But like
getting
this,
anxious.
but like
just
these.
thinking
Look at
about
these
it.
two. You can't separate those two.
There they are. Look at that. Now, for example, oh my God, Todd, you took that picture.
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk into the office and that's what you saw.
Right. Because I don't take pictures of them, but it just looks so funny.
And that is not, that's not Snowball. Snowball's lighter. Which one is this? Because there's 2 exactly like this black, and there's almost 3 that look like the little tiger stripes. Yes. Yeah, so I mean, I really don't want to separate them because they have been in that world for 10 weeks, and they only know that world, and they only know each other. So I'm going to be very,
How about those three?
let's see. Wait.
On your
can't
shoulder,
find
your
my-
shoulder.
I'm
You can
okay.
see it. It's plenty big.
Oh my goodness sakes! Look at This is Snowball right there. Look at that. Dora, did you take that?
Yes.
Oh, that is a great picture. Oh, they are so cute. Oh yeah, they're so. Do you have any more?
We
Me-
do.
okay.
Here's another one.
Hold on. Yeah, the kittens are getting big, and the mama is on the right. So you can see that a lot. Look at that. Oh my God, look at that. I just don't. I love cats. I always have, and I've never had a. I had one cat that I rescued and brought home in New York that stayed under the bed for 2 years. I didn't see the cat for 2 years. And then one day it was on my bed, and that was it. But it was a feral cat, and I brought it home, and it went under the bed, and that was it. But these cats, Dora has held them a lot, raised them, really socialized them. because I wasn't here a lot, and she just did a magnificent job there.
Well, then I think they should all be in Dora's room with her.
And Jag, because Jag sleeps with Dora. But, you know, they just are all loving people cats. And it's because of your loving, you know, them. Yeah, I know you do. So Barbara has a cat named Clea, right? Clea.
Clea.
And it's a beautiful cat. And so we talk about our cats endlessly. Now, we have an auction item I'm seeing up here.
That's one of them. We have two.
Okay. So this, I didn't know that we were having an auction tonight.
Well, you did because you
No,
pulled
I
your
didn't
own item.
This, but when I came home, you had this. And I'm just in shock that you put this up. But it's amazing. And
Well, I had a request to put up something special.
yes.
This took me a lot of time to come up with this
It's
item.
extraordinary, this item.
And you know, this is a dual fan item. This is a postcard. You can hand it to me.
Okay. Let me just hand you everything because it's beautifully put there. There you go.
Well, it's not. I'm not. Well, I mean,
Okay.
I can't really hold that.
No, the tray.
The tray we're
stays
using.
here, but
Anyway,
okay.
this is a postcard that Carrie wrote to my mother, and I don't have that many of these, but and certainly don't have many that I'm willing to part with. But this is classic Carrie stuff. I'm going to minimize this, and I'll show you the postcard itself. Again, there's never been a postcard ever that I've ever given up. So this was really hard for me to give this up. But I have a few things. So you can see it says, "Hey, Mombly." Mombly was Carrie's sort of endearing name that she called my mother. This is a very pretty place, population 60 people. It has the only post office in the world that's in a lighthouse. We go to Newfoundland. Tonight we go to Newfoundland. Love you. See you at Bitsy's birthday. Now, Bitsy is Billy's nickname. Carrie called Billy Bitsy. Love, Carrie Francis. And then it says, Billy wrote up there. So up in the top, it says, I miss you, Billy. So Billy was with Carrie at the time. It was sent to her while she was in Beverly Hills at the Coldwater House.
Yes.
And you can see the dates 2005. So it's super rare, needless to say. I have a few postcards of Carrie's. My mother kept them all.
You know why I love that it's a postcard?
Postcards from the Edge.
Yes, and she was always traveling and in really exotic places, and you know she loved to travel, which really surprised me. Carrie wanted to travel so much because she had to travel so much for work, and you know, I have to travel for work too, but I love being home. But she had this wanderlust, you know, that she loved to go places and see things.
True. She, and not just any place, it had to have a reason. It needed to be the Aurora Borealis. She used to like to go to places that had off-color names like Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Enfart was a place like somewhere in Scandinavia.
She had the signs. She took signs from the road, and they were on her gate and in the.
That's right.
And so you saw Enfart, you know, and I was like, "What is that?"
What is that?
And then, but she had the signs. I don't. Where did she get them? Should they take them off
you
the
could
street?
they sell them in those places.
Oh.
I mean, she didn't steal them off the road,
Right.
but she would have.
But they were all over the front yard, and it was really such a unique house.
Anyway, very rare to have a postcard. There is nothing anywhere, period. So if you're a Carrie and Debbie fan, this is a personal card from Carrie to Debbie. You know what's ironic is Carrie used to send me these postcards, and I used to keep them for a while. I just throw them away because I thought somehow there would be no end to all of this. And then when there comes an end to it, then you wish you had all that back. My mother, for whatever reason, had the foresight to save these things. This is also my mother's little bedside clock.
Yes.
So we're kind of doubling down on this lot.
That
You can see in the picture
incredible.
that looks like, I cannot tell you, it looks like jewels, I mean, I suspect they're like rhinestones, but it's a pretty high-end clock. And, but it was a bedside clock. And that used to sit next to a little travel clock kind of a thing. So I thought a travel clock with a postcard made sense to me.
Wow,
So
good job. That is awesome. Awesome.
So if I don't like who wins, I'm not sending it to you.
Oh, God. Wow. Okay, then. You have been warned. So there we go.
No, I'm kidding. I mean,
I know.
I would just say that please don't bid unless you intend to really keep this and take loving care of it, because it was lovingly preserved and saved by my mother. This came out of her bedside drawer where she keeps all the letters from Carrie and me and Billy and my grandmother. It's like, that's it. So this came right out of that drawer.
Yep.
You cannot get anything more personal, possibly. Nothing can be more personal than this. So it requires some TLC.
Yes.
I mean,
I don't think anybody that would get it if it didn't mean something.
I just
to
don't
them
want to see
too.
it on eBay. A lot of stuff from the big estate auction,
Yeah.
ended up on eBay, and I mean, I don't. It's no big deal, but it's a little annoying, some of it.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, you would have thought the point of buying this stuff, was not to flip it. I hope that the collectors are with us. This is why I like to post and do the studio store, because I hope to find the people that are collectors.
And they're from all over the world.
I
right,
want the
Ryan,
end
in there?
users. Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, I cut Ryan off.
Oh, you did?
Well, I didn't cut him off. I put
You can't cut Ryan off.
Well, I just put him over here.
Oh,
He's back
Okay,
again.
so,
There's
but
Ryan.
the people in the studio store that come there on Facebook, they are from all
So
over.
Ryan, what's your take on this item? Because I know this would be a good one for you.
This, if I were ever tempted to bid, but I won't do that, this would be the one.
I mean, because no matter how good of your collection you're going to have, no matter what it is you might collect, you'll never get something that personal.
No.
No, that's true.
You're not going to ever get something in Carrie's hand.
Right.
That's her
No.
big, bold handwriting, with a lot of inside nomenclatures.
Yep. Last
And
night.
for collectors too, like what I find is the more that the person writes, the more valuable that it is, not only valuable to the collector, but valuable in value as well.
Well, yeah,
So,
because it's
this
not.
is a biggie.
It is a biggie. I just was in a state of shock when I saw that, but I think it's great because I think that.
But it was a request.
But it
Not for that, just a request.
for something really
for
personal.
something really
Yeah.
personal. And I thought about it, and Dora and I were walking through my mother's room, and I just couldn't think of anything more personal than that.
Right, and I was out all day because we're doing a convention right now here in Las Vegas. But the second thing, so we can let the bidding begin on that.
Let the bidding
Let
begin.
the bidding
Yes.
begin, starting at $5, of course, and go ahead and we can call that postcard, and
We did.
we did.
And there might be a lot of new people in here because Todd was promoting it on Facebook, and we got a lot of new viewers.
I noticed that the
from
numbers are high, yeah. So to our new viewers, we'd like to welcome you. If you've never been here before,
Yes.
we're here every Saturday night. We do this and have been doing this since the COVID-19 lockdown started. Actually, even before that, right before that, when it was getting really bad. And so we've been doing this every Saturday night, and it's for fun, and it's for to love on each other. And so thank you for coming if this is your first night, and thank you everybody that comes all the time because we love you, and that's
And
why
the
we do it.
giveaways and the auctions that we do
Yeah.
are sort of an extension of my mother's will to, share some of
yeah.
her things with people that really were truly her fans and friends and family.
Right.
My family has all got stuff of hers, and then when you have another 100 items, to share. So I really, that is an extension of her wishes. We do also specifically use this money for all sorts of causes that we run across. Sometimes we have a very specific cause. Other times we find causes.
Yeah, it's funny because that happens, like a cause presents itself to us, and and we know it. We look at each other and we're like, this is it.
That's the
right?
one.
And that's the one. And so it's
I'll tell you one
really
that,
personal.
I'll tell you one that hit me the other day. So I've always been saying to everybody ever since this began that it's like a pay it forward.
Yeah.
And that we are the eyes and hands of God. And what we see collectively, we can influence and fix. And you can move upon large areas of the earth. There's millions of us to fix things. So anyway, the other day I was with some firemen. And, I was chatting with them about some of the things. And I want to do a little fundraiser for them. This is our local Las Vegas firemen.
Right.
And these are really righteous people that go running up the stairs to save you from your medical emergencies, or running
And
into
put
a burning house.
themselves in danger. And put themselves in danger
Oh no,
to do it.
for sure. No,
Yeah.
it's a righteous. I mean, yeah, they do menial things too, but it's a very righteous job, much like law enforcement. It's the same sort of selfless lifestyle. You have to want to be some kind of freaking hero, because you're going to put yourself in a position where you're going to have to do that. I mean, that's just a fact. If you're a fireman, you've got a hero complex because you watched Superman and Spider-Man one time too many. Because you are going to be in that position where you are in a position to save somebody, and you're going to
Yes.
have to put yourself in harm's way. And so those people, you have to thank those people. And so anyway, so we find these causes. I'm going to do something for them. I was going to get one of them maybe to come on the show.
Okay.
I've met the chief.
Can he come on without a shirt?
He's an older guy.
Look at Barbara like that.
It'd be
idea.
like me.
I've been promising, but they do the fireman's calendar. Look at, I know, Ryan, but let me tell you, they do a fireman's calendar.
The guy's
every
my
year.
age, for crying out loud. He's the
But
chief.
we'll have him and one of the young guys.
I'll
come
make
on,
him bring
and
all
he'll
the
just
guys
wear
and they
just,
with the
just his fireman's
with the
cap
six-pack.
and a pair of jeans and a six-pack.
nope jeans. They wear
think
fireman
that,
pants.
Look, Mariana's down. We're all down for that. Girls, I want to hear from you on this.
I'm sure the girls would be into it, and if
Look at-
some
look at Ryan.
some of the guys would be into it. It's not my thing, but I do appreciate what they do
Well,
with their
you know,
shirt on.
there's something for everybody, and I want to
Truly.
be the one to make that happen. So,
So there's your
great.
other item,
all right,
by the
so,
way.
the other item.
Now, I want
Okay.
you to know the picture doesn't do it justice, so you'll have to put your hand underneath it so people can see how sheer it is.
Oh, it's
as
it's,
in
it's
Norma
called
sheer.
it's called a velvet burnout. It's like a kimono, but let me get back
Stay
here.
with Kat, John.
It's like a kimono, but it doesn't have the bell sleeve. It has a normal sleeve. It has a Nehru collar. Do you remember that, Barbara? Do you remember that, Mariana? The Nehru collar. I always did. You have? You have
I have shirts that are
You
Nehru.
have Nehru shirts.
I like them.
And you know what? Didn't we? Did you have one remade that was from the
I did.
70s or 80s?
I
or
sure
something?
did.
So the Nehru jacket style. Oh, this thing has boobies. Look at that. Look at that. All right. So it's a family show. We're going to keep moving.
Well, look at the TV.
Okay.
So there's the picture. Does that do it justice?
I
Not really,
think it-
because it's
yeah,
sheer.
Yeah. Well, it is,
So-
but it is sheer. But I love this piece because it's also it's not like super thin or anything. I mean, this is a nice. Again, Barbara, you bought the kimono. I did. Yeah, and you wear it. I do. Yeah, and this is in mint condition, so this could also be worn. I would say this would be up to a size 6, maybe, if anyone wanted to wear it.
No. It's
No?
way more. My mother this was older. She was not young. That's not a young piece.
No, but your mom, when she was a little older, she wasn't
She
a
was
size
built,
2,
though.
4. She had a rack. I mean, she had to fit that somewhere, and I get that.
I just
have
don't
this
think that's a
affliction.
6. Why don't you take it off there and see if you can put it on?
No, I'm not. I don't want to waste airtime doing that. But it is beautiful and it's long. I would say it goes mid calf or longer.
Well, there's a picture here if you want.
So, but it's a beautiful piece, and I love it. And now this picture. Tell me about this. This is
Nothing. It's just we want, if you're going to buy that dress and you don't have a picture that's really autographed by her,
Debbie. This is
and you were going to put it on display or whatever, we're including a real autographed
yes
photograph
so you
of
can put
her.
it next to her.
So
It's a postcard. Yes.
oh,
there you
flip
go.
it around.
Oh no, it's.
Yeah, that's kind of
it-
rare
Oh
actually.
my gosh, it is a postcard.
Yeah, so that actually was from the hotel days, And somebody obviously bought that in the gift shop.
Yes.
And then had it signed, and somehow we ended up with it. And
Right. So that is item number 2. So let's call that dress, just for fun. All right? Well, because we have to make it short and sweet. So dress just for fun. So if you want to bid on that, starting bid at $5, and everybody.
So
there
2
you go.
items. You have
2
the,
items. We have
the postcard and the clock.
from Carrie to your mom, and the clock, your mom's clock. This is kind of cool because if you're fans of both of them, it's a really cool thing. And then the second thing is this cool piece. I would wear that if I bought
Well,
that.
I was surprised you gave it up. I thought you had kept that.
I have enough clothes, and
Not those kind.
No, that's true.
Sneeze.
Bless you. Did you
Ooh,
hear
bless you.
that sneeze? Did you hear that, Ryan? It
think
shook
I
the
did.
floor. My feet. I could.
Some people are asking, the new folks are asking how to bid, so you
Oh,
might
okay.
want to explain that to them.
Okay. Ryan, you go ahead and do that.
Throw him up, John.
All you have to do is, if you're interested in one of the items, just tell us what it is. I guess we're going dress and postcard.
Right.
And just put the amount. And we kind of update it along. Right now it's at $620 for the postcard. And I think 100 is the dress, which just started.
Yeah, so
and we'll
that-
stop it at the end of the show and let you know when
So
we're
what?
going to
So
wrap
for
it
our
up.
newbies, towards the end of the show, we do giveaway. So we give things away, and how we do that is with a randomizer. So Ryan's running the randomizer, and when you entered the room, your name was automatically
Captured.
captured and put into the randomizer. He runs the randomizer. It chooses a name, and we have how many free gifts tonight? We have 8 gifts tonight to give away, and then we close the auction usually
Created a
about
monster.
after these. Usually the 6th or 7th item, but we'll announce when that auction is closing. So you also have a chance to win a prize that's really nice. So there you go. Right?
That's right.
And I'll
Watch
be
out
in
for
touch
that
with
wire.
the winner to
And
deal with
if we call you a
addresses.
wiener, it's because that's what we call them. You're the wieners.
Well, if you're from Columbia, you don't say win.
No, because Dora's from Columbia, and when she says winner, it says wiener, and so we kind of coined that phrase. So welcome to the madness that is this show. Every Saturday night we have so much fun. Okay, what's next, Ryan? You know, I just walked on this set from
It's
the
up
hotel.
to you. You can talk to your little buddy down there some more.
Okay, but I wanted to also say, let's get you there. Oh, Cheryl Davidson Conway, you can have my right arm for the Debbie item. Oh, Cheryl, I you know what? I got to meet you, Cheryl. I have to. Seth Robichaux is here. Hi, Seth. You know, Seth is in the New Orleans area, and the hurricane, which one, is headed that way. Seth, I think you were evacuated, right? He can't answer me, but he will hear. I cannot even, I grew up in Florida, so I remember every time a hurricane would come through, we would have to board up the house, and one time it was so bad, I remember it sounded like a freight train was coming through the house. So Seth,
Mother Nature
where
can
are
be
you,
vicious.
Seth? Where are you? Okay, well, I'm meaning where are you? I hope you're somewhere safe.
Right.
And Linda Factor is here. Frank Ferruccio is here. Oh my God!
So Frank,
Hi, Frank.
Frank, I hope you approve of my selection because
I think he will.
Well, he was the one that prompted me. I didn't throw his name out, but he was the one that contacted me earlier, and he said he needed something very personal or something like that.
Yes, well, I don't think it gets any more personal. Tammy Wilson is here, Latex Styles, Joshua Dixon, Lisa Falls, Jennifer Gantz, Shirley Tate. I try to get to everybody, but we are up to quite a few people here right now, so I might not. Angela Pritchett, Susan Hirsch. Okay, so while you guys are bidding, I think Ryan, did you have another
yes,
clip?
we have clips. We
Okay.
have clips from your show. They're broken into 5 of the best that I had on the computer. So if you wanted to talk your way through those, I'm sure people would love.
Oh, okay. All right. So, so the opening we did was of my hypnosis show, and we had orchestra, and so now we have Miss America. Now, is this the one I think it is, Ryan?
It is.
Okay, so I'll set this up. So the Miss America portion of this show, there was this guy that has come for the last 3 years or so that I've played the State Fair West Virginia. And he didn't want to come on stage because he didn't, I think people are afraid they're going to make fools of themselves or something, but he really wanted to get hypnotized, but he didn't want to come on stage. And I said, just take the pressure off, man. Just enjoy it from the front row. You know, you don't have to come on the stage. Just enjoy yourself and enjoy the show. So all of a sudden, about halfway through the induction, I turned around to talk to the audience, and he had been doing everything that the people on stage had been doing, and he got hypnotized in his seat. And he was
Actually on the ground.
well, he was on the ground. I turned around and he was just out on the ground, just
On the grass.
on the grass, right? Because they were sitting on
Benches.
And I never know if people should be brought up on stage if they didn't volunteer, because I just think that if people volunteer, then, you know. So I stood there and looked at him and thought, I always tell people, if anyone in the audience gets hypnotized, don't wake them up. Let us come down and deal with it. I might use them from their seat. Have you ever seen me do that? Where I
Many times.
Yeah, and so you know, I might have them do funny things from their chair every time I say a certain word. But this guy was on the ground, and I had a moral dilemma whether I should bring him up or not. Well, Mariana thinks everybody's game if they're out in the audience, and so we brought him on the stage. I think he was in the Marines, you know. I think he was a Marine, or is a Marine, because one. So he was a somnambulist, which means that you go down so deep and fast. So that's the setup to the clip, and I hope you enjoy it, because when Ryan and I saw it after the show, we laughed so hard. We just thought this was hilarious. So I hope you enjoy this.
3, 2, 1, sleep all the way down. Good. Not you, though, buddy.
He almost fell over.
Nice and stiff and rigid. That's how I want your body. Just your body. Just notice what I said. Well, it is the 7 o'clock show. And everybody makes mistakes, so let's just give me a break, okay? That's right. Legs like steel rods. That's right. Get you. Yeah, there you go. Now, little Joe, you've been very bad, okay? I just want you to know that. All right, at the count of 3, you're going to wake up, Josephine, and you're going to be Miss America. At the count of 3, you're going to pop your eyes open. 1, 2, and 3. You are Miss America. Isn't it wonderful? Say hi to everybody. Oh, you know? That's right. Oh, Joe.
We couldn't find the tiara, so I bought cat ears at the 99-cent store.
You have the press out there. You forgot to put your lipstick on, and let me tell you, you're getting your picture taken. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Oh, make it pretty, make it pretty, make it pretty. He was just sitting there minding his own business, going to a show. And now here's the show, which is really kind of an amazing thing. You're awesome, Joe. Bring back to your seat. Perfect. All right. And as you go all the way down, 3, 2, 1, sleep all the way. Let's go this way. We have a little cushion.
So I didn't see him after that. I hope he doesn't hate me.
So at the count of 3,
So, you saw him. I saw him after the show, but I didn't see him any days after the show. I saw him immediately after the show, and he was just.
Get a whole thing of makeup wipes for him.
Oh, I'm
Get all
sure.
that lipstick off.
She's saying she had to get a whole batch of makeup wipes to get all the lipstick off of him, because he just grinded it on there. The guys usually do, because they don't know how to put lipstick on.
No kidding.
Yeah, and so they just go like a clown. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's so fun. But I really enjoyed him, and I hope he'll be back. Cheryl Murray.
Normally, you stop them at a certain point and you say, "Tell us, what you would, what would you want
no,
if you could do one thing to change the world?
Yes,
what would it
I asked
be?"
him the Miss America questions. That show, I think I don't know. Remember if I did or not, Ryan? I don't I think he could have maybe
No,
edited.
I think the kiss.
The kiss threw me
was a
off.
little-
I was the look on my face. You can see it because
Well, he
I
wanted to
saw
kiss
these
you on the
lips
mouth.
coming out me.
Yeah, he was-
and they were
I
really
have
red.
it right now. I have it. I have a screenshot of it on my screen here for you.
Oh gosh, but it threw
Hang
me
on,
off.
I'll bring it up. I'll
Yes,
put it on our
it
monitor
totally
here.
threw me off because I have actually never. Oh yeah, the
There you go,
red
Kat.
lipstick
Kat.
everywhere. I mean, it was a shock, you know. I mean, it was a shock because big red lips coming at me. But he was funny and wonderful, and he was a wonderful somnambulist. We always pray for the people that get hypnotized the deepest and like this, because you know you could make them do just about anything, and anything you can dream up for them. It's fun. You know, Mariana has the microphone, and do you remember the first lady when she was petting the head of
Yes.
the kid? And Ryan, I'm really sorry that you and maybe when you do this again, if we ever do it again, the kid when they woke up, I asked him what his name was, and they were still hypnotized, of course, and the kid said his name, and then he said, and I don't know what the hell just happened, because the lady was just petting his head really like hard.
Throughout the whole thing. It was
Throughout
like,
the whole,
yeah, it was very strange.
And she was great. She was a great
she was.
volunteer. But anyway, so it's really fun, and I love doing this work because it does show you people's
And your identical twins that you got to do the mentalist with.
That's
that was
right.
fantastic.
I had a set of identical twins that you could not tell apart if your life depended on it. And they were so close. And so I had them come up for one of the mentalism routines, and it was so fascinating. I am fascinated by identical
This is the first
twins.
time you've done mentalism in Virginia.
No, I think I did it a couple of years ago, just at the opening of the show. I didn't do whole mentalism shows. But because of where we are at, you know, in this state of COVID, which, that is something that is really hard because nobody really quite understands the Delta variant and where it goes from here. And so for that reason, I also need to say that I'm going to have the Get Your Fire back in January, because by then, and not next month, and I've been sitting on this for a long time because I've been trying to feel my way through it, because I didn't know what to do.
You could just have everybody tested. You don't have to cancel your gig.
But you know, we have mask mandates here, and so I don't want people sitting.
Not on private property.
Yeah, but but still, I want to make sure, that. So I'm going to wait, and I will put it up now that I have a definite thing in mind, a date in mind, and then we have time for people to sign up and do. But it's it's just we've been in a hotel for the last 2.5 days, and we will be there tomorrow morning because we're in the middle of a convention.
And that's a lot of people. How are they controlling that?
Well, everyone's masked, and some people are wearing 2 masks, and so
the 2 mask science.
Yeah, I only saw a few people with that, and so but it's really weird.
You know, I'm actually a proponent of the 4 mask science myself. I actually have developed a bag that's human size, and we just drop you in this giant N95 bag. Now, the problem is you can't walk, but we just wheel you around, but you're perfectly safe.
Could you roll in it?
Yeah, we could roll you like a sack of potatoes.
Well, I'm sure everybody might, or not everybody, but a lot of people saw what you bought me to wear on the plane.
I should hope so.
The spacesuit. He
I would
literally
only
bought me a spacesuit.
No, it's well, look.
But it's awesome. I mean,
Without
if I
getting-
go grocery shopping, I mean, seriously, I wouldn't mind wearing that.
Without getting into it too deep, I spoke to the head of 3M,
Yes.
who simply said that the only effective masks
Is
there
the
are, period, is
which
the
one?
N95 mask.
Yes, that's what Barbara
They have
wears.
some effect.
Yep. I wear it too.
They do. Basically, he said every other mask that you see is theater. He
Yeah.
used that exact word. But then he said if you go beyond the N95 mask, they make many other products. So the 3M people make a
Actually,
suit.
a lot of people wrote and asked me on Facebook where you got that, and you got it on Amazon.
Well, you
And
can
it
get
is
it.
comfortable. It
You
has
can
a
get
little
it from a lot of
pack
places.
in the back, and then that has a. It kind of looks like, what was the robot's
spacesuit.
name on Danger Will Robinson?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Robbie the robot.
They
was-
use them in laboratories when they're working.
They
with
wear them on
infectious
Grey's
stuff.
Anatomy too.
When
the
something's very infectious. Now, it's not like radioactivity infectious. They have stuff for that too. but this is for an airborne particulate down to 0.01 microns, which is beyond what an N95 mask can do. And his point was, if you really want to be safe, it's like if you're going to really be serious about that, if there is a real threat, then, and you knew you were around people that had COVID, you could wear that safely.
Yes.
And
it's comfortable and it's not heavy. And I do look a little like Robbie the Robot in it because the what's it called, where the air comes through.
It has a system that's two-way, so it's quite pleasant.
Your whole face is covered, your whole head is covered.
Which is another point, because if something is airborne and you have orifices, eyes, ears, nose, etc. So the moral of the story, though, is that there is actually science to all of this. We have been buried in a lot of misinformation for months and months. So I just encourage everybody to use your common sense and try to.
And you can get the really good mask that Barbara wears and I had, you've had, and you can get them on Amazon. What are they called?
N95.
N95.
And don't get the ones with the breathers, because that just exhales your air into somebody else's space.
Yeah.
So, they're fine actually if you had to wear them for a long time, but that's not protecting them from you.
Yes.
Anyway.
But they now make the one that doesn't have that metal band, because that hurt. That's why I didn't want to wear that.
Well,
and why I
if it's
stayed
not
home for a
sealed to
year.
your face, then it's irrelevant.
Yeah, no, but it has the wire in it.
Well, that was because it's supposed to conform to your nose.
No, but I like the wire, but there was a bar. Does yours have the steel bar across? And it hurt the bridge of my nose, so I just didn't leave the house.
Well, that's
for a
why I
year.
bought you the helmet, because it's super comfy.
I'll tell you what, I
It
can't wait
feels
to wear it to the
good.
grocery store and see how people like it. What, Mariana?
Seth just let us know they are evacuating right now. They're in the
they are?
process of evacuating right
Seth,
now.
we are thinking about you, and
They say it's going to be the worst hurricane since the 1800s.
okay. Well, let me just say that I think I'm praying that is not the case.
Sure.
But the news does sensationalize these storms, and I'm really praying that this is not as bad as but Katrina was very bad. I
Right.
actually took people in New York City that got blown right out of their house.
Well,
I mean,
there's a number of factors. It's not just about the wind. It's also about the water, the surge from the ocean.
Right.
The fact that New Orleans is below sea level and they don't have ways of moving the water in the right places. It's complicated, but they've done a lot of work since Katrina, spent a lot of money. So hopefully, also you have to understand that something, if you've been to New Orleans, which I think
I have not.
Okay. We drove through there. But anyway, if you go
we
to New
stopped
Orleans.
and had crawfish. Is that what they're crawdaddies?
Crawdaddies.
Yeah.
Crayfish.
The crayfish, and they had the little pinchers, and I put my American Express card.
Exactly. I told you to do
Yeah.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
But because they'll hold on.
It
to
held on to my,
Exactly.
And it was dead. So there
No,
you
they
go.
wasn't.
Oh, no, they didn't bring a live crawfish.
Yes, they
to
do.
me.
They bring them over and then they take them back and dump them in hot
Oh,
water.
no, I don't even like to eat anything that looks like it used to because it's very upsetting.
Well, it had a mother. But anyway, the bottom line here, though, is that those buildings
Yes.
have been there for literally hundreds of years, the French Quarter in particular, and they've managed to withstand many, many hurricanes. So I would just say that, obviously people have to be very, very conscientious about this. It's not worth taking any chances. But we pray for the best.
Yes, we do.
God, spare that place.
Oh, yes, because that's just a lot to take on, and everybody there always, they remember the last one, and it was very bad. So, Seth, you are in our prayers tonight for sure, as are all of the people in Louisiana and the New Orleans area. Very, 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 very scary, but you're going to be spirited away now, and
There is a
stay
lot
safe.
going on in this world.
Yes, there is, and definitely, one of the things that I watched an interview last night of one of the Marines, the father of one of the Marines that was killed in Afghanistan, and I had to pull over. It made me weep.
Yeah, because he was so real.
But you know what? He was so real. But I also loved how he talked about the 3 young Marines that showed up on his doorstep.
Yes.
And they did a service for him in his house when he was really he was in this place where he didn't want his wife to come home
And
and
find out that way.
that way. So he asked them to stay on a corner, until his wife came home, so that he could feel out the situation, tell her himself, and maybe that they would come back and do
You know what he did?
service for her.
He
And they stood there for almost 4 hours.
You know
on
what
the
he did? He
corner.
did something that's not easy to do. He personalized it to the extent that we felt for every loss
Yes.
in a very deep way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal to lose a person.
To lose a child,
But-
I can't think of any.
But you know, we've all had our losses,
Yes.
and you know, he brought that down, man, and it made me. You know, you felt it, and you know, you in war, people get jaded because these losses, some of these numbers, even right now, 13. I mean, this is a giant number, and of course, there's been, you know, during the Normandy invasion, there were tens of thousands of Americans killed that day. Hello. You know, and so how do you even absorb that? But imagine this one loss was so intense, and so it felt that I felt that loss, you know, and if you feel that for every loss, 13 losses is monumental.
Yes.
And you know, we have to appreciate those sacrifices those people are making, and you really hope that they're being made for righteous purposes. You know, a lot of this politicalization of things that are going on in this world, and there it is where the rubber meets the road. You can politicize this all you want, but when you're paying with American lives, the youngest and best of us,
Yeah.
that really brings it home.
Well, he was amazing,
Yes,
that
he was.
father, and I couldn't see it because I was in the car on the way home from the hotel, and I had to pull over because just his voice, what he was saying, the way I felt. And so I did want to bring that up because we can't just do a show and
Well,
act like nothing's happening because they deserve.
I
you
just
know.
said there's a lot going on, and
Yeah.
of course that's part of the complexities of things that are going on. But you know, at the same time, you know, we are not alone, and there is. I'm not saying these things are not happening for stupid reasons.
Right.
You know, we're also in charge of our own dumb decisions,
Yes.
regardless of where we are in this world. You know, you and I could make a dumb decision that affects us, and then somebody can make a decision at the presidential level that affects these other people the way it has. So but at the same time, you know, we are not alone, and there is a God, and He is with us, and so we have to, you know, we have to stay with that. It's just that, you know, there is a loss of that in this country too. You know, there's actually been a loss of faith in this country that is a substantial blow. And people, I feel bad for people without any faith at moments like this, because where do you put it? If you are alone and this is it, and all of this is some random act of consciousness or lack of consciousness, you know, that's a sorry way to look at things. But putting in perspective, God doesn't kill children. He doesn't kill Afghan children. He doesn't kill American soldiers. These are decisions that we have made.
Yeah.
And the price
that's
is
a tough
paid.
one, and you know what? Whenever I meet someone that's just lost a loved one, and especially when you know it's somebody's child or parent or in some terrible way, and they talk about their faith and not blame God, and because it is our will that you know, the way we act and the consequences that
But
come
people
from it.
go to certain religious leaders. I'm not going to name
No, please
face.
don't. Thank
No,
you.
but when they
Yes.
do, you will hear these words. It was God's will. So that is not the case. I mean, people make bad choices. Bad things happen because of that. God, no God that I know is out killing innocent people. Those are generally you know, these are things that just happen in, like right now, you could even assign specific blame to things, but it's always not about that. But it isn't certainly about God. We as humans cause and effect. And I'm sorry, you know, I hate it when I hear them say that, because then if that's the case, you're like, wait a minute, you're telling me God took my child?
Right.
I mean, I don't know a God that does that. I mean, I know other
Actually, and
forces.
we have one of our Facebook people that is here every week. You know, she lost her son, a little boy, in a car accident. I think it might have been a drunken driver. I'm not really sure. But Aubrey, you know, I think about you all the time, and there's really rarely ever a day that goes by that I don't think about her because what a you
So
know.
here's what I say to people like that, though. Even though that was an act of, if it was a drunk driver, obviously
Yeah,
that was a
I think it-
specific.
I think it
But even if
was.
it wasn't, even if it's just a random accident,
Yeah.
you know, again, if you have no faith, then you don't believe what we believe, which is that that child is at the hand of God, you know,
Yeah.
is in heaven, in a much better place. You know, it's like when my sister and mother left the earth, I had great comfort in the fact that I knew where they were.
Oh yes.
Not only where they were, but they were together,
Right.
which was my mother's desire. That's an important way to believe. I feel very badly for people who do not have that faith.
But you know what? Just talking about that for a second, because we will move on. But I do want to say this: yes, there are a lot of people that have been that have lost their faith, but there's a lot of people who have found it
Yes.
because of all the things that are going on in the world, starting with COVID. I think people were already on a search. I think they were already seeking something outside of themselves, and you know, it's a lot to navigate. You know,
Yeah,
because
well,
religion is a
But
is a
why?
tricky thing.
What? You know, I always when I talk to a lot of people in that predicament, and I like to ask them, you know, what is it that turned you off? What is it that made you not believe? And they all have different things. I had my thing, which was I hated it when people would go on TV and beg for money in the name of God. It used to drive me crazy. And I used to think, well, those people clearly are not talking for God. And it made me have a lack of faith in the entire Christian realm because that's all they did is beg for money. At least that's all I saw.
Yes.
So we all get hung up on a lot of things. Some people don't believe in God because of a loss. Again, because they have this misplaced sense of what caused it. And so therefore, it's important to identify why you don't believe and to find a reason to believe. God believes in you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that all this religious stuff is man's invention. And we create these religions to satisfy certain needs for certain times in the history of the world. And some horrible and beautiful things have been done in there, but in the purest sense, it's just between the individual and his creator.
Yes.
And if you can get it down to that basic thing, and if you can make it that personal, then you don't have all these hang-ups. You don't have all the baggage.
Right. Now, Nikki Luongo is asking if we are going to watch the new Tammy Faye Baker movie. You actually knew her, didn't you?
I did very well.
Yeah. And what was she like?
She was very funny. She had a lot of phobias in her life that she overcame. She wrote a book many years ago in the 70s or early 80s called Run to the Roar. And I loved that title. And in her, even though she had the big hair and this crazy makeup, there was a side of her that was pretty cool. That was a cool thing. She, you know, faced her fears head on.
Yeah.
And however loud that roar was, a lot of people would say, oh, I hear this roar. It's a lion in the other room. You know, she would face that rather than...
Well, like your mom used to say.
But
Sometimes
she
you
got,
have to be a lion and face things.
so she got that partly from that. But I did their show many years ago when she was married to Jim Baker and all of that. And I actually found her to be, you know, I found them to be they had a very honorable side to them. But unfortunately, a lot of those television ministries, you know, get caught up in the monetary aspects of things. And you know, I could never really swing with a lot of that. So I used to make fun of those folks.
Yeah.
But I liked them all. I mean, like, the fact is, they put my show on the air.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they knew that I was talking to a group of people that they couldn't. Some people need that structure, by the way. The reason why the Catholic Church has been so powerful throughout the world is there is a comfort in that structure that people have run to. Unfortunately, you know, it's turned into a lot of rules and regulations and things that have also turned a lot of people off. There's a balance to all that. Some of the most righteous people I know are Catholics, but there's a lot of dogma there that will wear your ass out.
Yeah. Well, you know, I just think that this is a really good time if people are thinking about where they are spiritually.
Yes, it is.
And that you know, seeking something, comfort, and it's that relationship that's between you and God. It isn't about being beaten and scared about, being bad and going to hell. And, that is such a bad way for me, in my opinion, to approach someone.
Scare people into it.
Scaring people, like that. It's just, that's not the way
It went out with button
as
shoes,
I
to be
see
honest
it, at
with
least
you.
in my way of thinking.
No, that went out with button shoes.
Yeah.
The whole fire and brimstone thing is a joke. And then also, there are specific scriptures that say, judge not lest ye be judged. So this whole declassification of people or classifying people out, you can't be part of our clan because you're gay or you're whatever you are, that went out with button shoes, in my opinion. I
Right.
mean, the whole notion of judging people is horrific. And Christ himself sat on the cross as he's dying and forgave the lowliest of creatures with him. So there's just all that judgment stuff's got to go.
Right.
All this playing religion's got to go. In fact, I took my Christmas card back in 1982 was a photograph of me leaning on a dynamite plunger. And on the plunger, it said religious traditions. And we haven't disposed of it. We've come a long way. And there are movements that are great. There are movements, but I also know there was a study done recently that in this country, it is now the lowest number in decades of people involved in church. Now, I'm not saying you have to go to church to believe in God or any of that, but obviously there's great things being done. And it's great to be part of these things. If you can find one that you can relate to, that could be a challenge too.
And I think that a church there's a lot of people that is their social life. That is their fellowship. That is their, and when all that ended, it was sad because, that's their life. And that's their family. That's their friends. That's where they go so they can talk to each other about things and not.
Well, the idea that you can tell people that they couldn't do that, well, in my view, was unconstitutional at any level.
Yeah, I agree. But so, before we end the show, I do want to do a moment of silence for our Marines that lost their lives. And I did want to bring it up because even though, we're here to just kind of have fun and everything, we always talk about the hard stuff on this show. And that's one of the reasons I love doing it. Because, it's horrendous. And I've been very sad for the last few days about that. About not that, but just everything that's going on.
Well, the entire situation is dismal. I mean, and without getting into why, it is what it is at this moment. And so, all you can do at that point is you can say, God, help us because we made a bonehead decision. Mm-hmm. So help us, help everybody who is there, save our soldiers, save these poor civilians that are in a horrible situation because of dumb decisions that we made. I mean, we're human. We make dumb decisions. That's the way it works.
Well, I want you to know that Sean Hintz has said you should do a show about spirituality. You are very interesting in your connection with God. Love to hear you speak. Well, Todd did start a great church with Henry Catrona in the 80s, and it was called The Hiding Place, and that's the first time I ever saw you was in that building. The church didn't have a building, actually. It was held in a high school auditorium that held 1,000 people or so.
Yep. Even before that, it was in a theater.
Oh, I went when it was in the theater.
The Beverly Theater.
And so,
before that, it was at Debbie Reynolds' dance studio.
And then they made you leave because the church grew so fast. And a lot of entertainers went there because it was so beautiful to not be beaten over the head with things. But Henry was such an amazing and is an amazing minister. So it was a hip church. Our music was amazing. Our services were amazing. And I just on a personal note before we move on, is that my dad, who had been not an atheist, but an agnostic, he really just didn't believe in anything. And that was always really upsetting to me because in my way of thinking, I wanted my dad to go to heaven with me, right? So it's, okay, so he never came to LA to see me. He made this weird trip to Los Angeles and surprised me. And he had a lady friend with him. And I hadn't seen him in a really long time. And on Sunday, I was getting dressed to go to church. And I said, listen, we'll go out after I get back. We'll go out to lunch. And he said, where are you going? And I said, I'm going to church. And he said, oh, I can go with you. And I was shocked, really shocked, because my dad just didn't have anything to do with that. And so when he went, I was sitting in my seat, and Henry just all of a sudden turned around. He was sitting in front of me, and he said, I want you, he didn't know my dad was there. He said, I'd really love it if you'd give your testimonial today. I had never gotten up in front of that church and talked about my life and how God changed my
He certainly
life.
didn't know your dad was
He
there.
didn't know my dad was there, and he'd never really ever, I never saw him do that. And so I said, okay, and I got up, and I told my story and how God changed my life into something absolutely beautiful when it started out incredibly difficult, and I could have gone either way, and I did go either way. I would go so far off my path, but I was in Hollywood, and we all get lost at some point. It's not that I forgot God, it's that I thought, I don't know, I just put him over here. It was just kind of I just put him over here. I always loved him, but I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And so my dad apparently was sitting in the back row and cried like a baby throughout my entire testimony. Of course, I told about my childhood, which was difficult at best. And so I didn't know, because I was up there and he was all the way in the back. There's 1,000 people in that building. Not long after that, my dad passed away, and under horrific circumstances, very suddenly, at 62 years old, which is younger than I am right now. When you think about that, it's just kind of weird. And I was sad because I wanted my dad to be saved, and anyone that's a Christian really can understand what I'm saying right now. And some months went by, and I think it was Barry actually, my brother and I were talking about my dad and how sad that I was about that, because he's passed away under terrible circumstances very suddenly and unexpectedly. And he said, your dad accepted the Lord. And what? And he said the sinner's prayer and went up, but I was somewhere else and I didn't know it. So it made me so happy, because that's how good that church was, that it took an agnostic and that's okay. I mean, if people want to be agnostic or atheist, I have no issues with that. I think people should be what they are, who they are, believe what they want. And who am I to say anything about it? But it was so awesome to know that I will see my dad again someday. So I'm really, that church meant a lot to me.
Same thing happened to my dad. He showed up there and he said, I just cannot believe that God could forgive me for everything that I've done. And that was what was hanging him up from making a very simple choice of saying that, God, I want you to be part of my life. I mean, this is not rocket science. That's how simple it is. And he couldn't say those words because of this guilt that he felt. So I said to him these magical words. I said, well, let me ask you a question. If I can forgive you for what you've done, and it's personal to me what he did to my mother and my sister and I. If I can forgive you, how much more can God forgive you? Because I'm certainly not God.
Right.
And it dumbfounded him. And that is what led him to be able to say, I want to change my life and make that simple
And did
commitment.
he?
Yeah, he did, but he didn't know how to walk in it. See,
Yeah.
that's the catch.
But and you know what? It's not always easy. I remember the last time that what do we have here? Let's see. Oh, update. The postcard is at $895 and the dress is at $600. They're holding up a sign just so you all know where that's at. I just think that it's walking it is easy when you have had enough of the life you've been.
Well, we're talking about the
living.
postcards. So Carrie being like one of the smartest people I've ever known, she also, made those commitments similarly at different times because of the simplicity of at the hiding place, what we did is we allowed her to be so simple, because it has to be that simple. Because it has to be something through the grace of God, not through something that you can earn by an act of your works. That's not to say that after you've made that move that you shouldn't try to seek higher consciousness, which is like part of what we do on the show here is we talk about this notion of giving back, the pay it forward concept. Living a better life, and making the world a better place is part of what comes with those decisions. You want that to happen.
Right. Maxine Moody is asking, Todd, do you relate to your Jewish heritage at all?
I definitely do, because any way you look at it, genetically, I'm 50% Jewish. And my Jewish heritage is amazing, right? I mean, it goes all the way back to the 12 tribes of Israel. I mean, it's thousands of years old. But here's the irony. If you look at the DNA, which we didn't know about back then, we're all related. It's what it gets down to. So yes, I do relate. And the Jewish faith is an amazing faith because it's the earliest philosophy about doing what is good, how to live your life in a good way. And this is what, unfortunately, is being bent right now in the Middle East. Obviously Israel is part of the Middle East. So how did we get to the point where we're fighting about this stuff? Or one guy is saying, if you don't believe what I believe, I'm going to kill you. I mean, this is the problem with all of that. Now, and if you go into the Old Testament, even God was looking to get rid of all of the unbelievers. There was this purging. So you're watching it again right now amongst those tribes in and around the Middle East. They're all trying to say that their way is the way, and they're purging and everybody. But Jesus came as the Savior. He was what was called for in the Jewish faith, the Messiah. He came to get rid of all of that horror because his loss, his dying, took away the sins of the world. And that's an amazing and very powerful act that has shaken the foundation of this world for 2,000 years. Mm-hmm. We're still talking about it. It happened 2,000 years ago. You think they're going to be talking about what's going on right now in the Middle East? Well, they're never going to settle the Middle East. We know that because I just explained it. Their philosophies are going to stop them from that. They're going to force their way of belief on you. But the beauty of being, I'm what they call a Messianic Jew. I'm a Jewish person that believes that the Messiah has come.
Yeah, it's really, I'm reading the comments because I like to see if people are in touch with what we're talking about, enjoying it, or getting anything from it. And as we always say, take the best and leave the rest, because of course this is everybody's cup of tea. But these are the things that get me through. And I know a lot of people are struggling right now with what's going on, and just in general, because we're masked, we're not masked. The Delta variant's out there. When's life ever going to be normal? We're in war. We have this. A lot on our plate right now, and people are scared. And so what would you say to the people that are seeking peace right now, internal peace, and that feel scared and unsure about life? Well,
there's never been a scarier time, as far as I can remember, to be on this earth. So you could certainly look around you right now, and you could be afraid if you wanted to be. Or you could live in the peace of knowing that your Creator has things in hand. Now, that's not to say that you should take a back seat and say, I'm not doing my part, I'm not doing anything. I still say, my favorite thing is, we are the hands and the eyes of God, and what we do is a direct impact on this earth to make it a better place. But if you're not comfortable with yourself and who you are, then you're never going to be at peace. One of the problems that Carrie had was she was always so cerebral that she had a hard time. She would look into all of this and analyze it to the in-depth points and never be settled on it. So there's a point, though, what happened to me was I had this revelation where it was like, I should have had a V8. I mean, it was like a moment where I was like, you surrender to it. All of a sudden, you accept this belief that we're not alone, this belief that God is with us. And it the same way that I know that gravity exists. I mean, I'm sitting here on this set right now. I can't see gravity, but it's here, and whether I believe it or not is irrelevant because it's here and it is what it is. Well, that is the same thing now that I believe about faith. That's what I believe about God. You know, if you don't believe in him, he believes in you. There's a moment where you step forward and you say, I'm going to take that step. I'm going to believe in that. Now, that is what gets me through. We were sitting at the doctor's office the other day, and we were filling out this questionnaire, which was the most bizarre questionnaire I'd ever seen at a doctor's office. I thought I was maybe at a psychiatrist's office, not a doctor's office. And what did you say to me
When was this?
when we were at the doctor's office the other day doing our physicals?
Oh gosh, so many conversations. We talk all the
You
time.
you said, I'll bet you didn't answer yes to any of those questions.
Oh, that's yeah. We went to the doctors to get physicals, and it was all mental.
Psychological
Yeah,
stuff.
it was all psychological questions about your mental health.
And you know why that's going on right now?
And,
Because the world, all the doctors
I never saw
know.
anything like that before.
Me neither. And it's because it's rampant right now. People are, because of COVID, the fear of COVID, fear of COVID, fear of what's going on in the world, fear of what's happening in the cities with crime. All of these things, the fear of inflation and prices getting out. I mean, it's everybody is drilling you down with fear. But the opposite of fear is faith. We have to bury that fear with faith. I don't like, so when I filled out that form there, I didn't have one.
You know, I was thinking about it too because I didn't look over to see what was on your test, but I was filling this out and I was thinking, wow, I'm doing well because I'm able to say no, 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 no to all these things. Yet when we were sick with COVID, I was full of anxiety and fear. At 2 o'clock every single day, it would come knocking on my door. And you know, I'm the most positive person that I can possibly be, and I don't usually fall into into those emotions. I think I have a little more control over my mind and I know what anxiety is, and I know where it comes from, and I understand it really well.
Better than anybody.
But I will tell you, at 2 o'clock every day when we were sick with COVID, you slept you slept for 8 solid days. I was laying in bed, and at 2 o'clock, oh, here it comes. It was expected. My mind expected it because it was every day. And so when I got that, I thought, oh, this is just no fun at all. I feel it's horrible. But you know what came out of that for me? When people say to me, I'm anxious, I have anxiety, I can talk to them and say, I understand. It isn't just what I've learned by going to school. It is I've learned because I've sat in that anxiety and I understand what that feels like. And I feel that I have more compassion in my work that way.
What did I say to you the other day when you were anxious about getting everything done for your show? You were sitting on the couch.
I was anxious about getting everything done because this convention came right on me right after I got off the plane from West Virginia doing 30 shows. And so I was already kind of burnt, but I had made a commitment to this convention. And I was worried about not getting everything done, and I did feel, not fear, but
Anxious.
stress
Yes.
and anxious about it,
Sure.
because I like to do things right. And you said, just do your best, and you always do get it done. And what you don't get done, but you'll get it done. And you were right. I mean, I got it done.
But the key to that is how you walk out of that. So I am pretty good. I've been practicing this a long time at getting to the point where I said, I have done all I can do on this day. I will now rest.
I asked you how you sleep because most of us, I know that I have trouble sleeping because this mind likes to think a lot and it likes to create. So when I lay down at night, and Barbara's a night owl too. She lays in bed and will do whatever she does until 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning, then she sleeps in. But when you lay your head down, he just goes out. I mean, out. And I have been with you through some really tough times. I mean, we have really been through everything that you can go through practically together. And you could still lay your head down and sleep at night. And it used to just, I would marvel at this, knowing that what you had on your shoulders, and you could just close your eyes and go to sleep. And so I asked you, how do you do that? And you said, because every day is a new day, and what I didn't finish yesterday, I'll work on tomorrow. And I know I've done my very, very best today at getting things done. and that lets you drift off to sleep.
Well, part of that though is also when you say that, you've done the best you can do without killing yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so there's times where you're going to work 24/7 because that's what it takes. But then there's also times where you need to shut it down for your own physical well-being.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Because, and I agree with you 100%. And, you know, I do think that most people do have trouble sleeping, in particular women. I'm going to say that. Women really have a hard time turning it off. And so,
So two things can make that better. Having faith and knowing that sort of, you know, God's got your back, you know, that's a good thing to have
Yes,
going
he
on.
does.
Because if you're worried that something is going on, there's lots of shit going on that's outside of your control. Okay, so the idea, it's real. You know, that's real.
yeah.
And so how do you control that? I mean, you know, so the answer is at some point you've got to exercise your faith and know that something outside of you has these things under control. Now, you can also put your faith in your friends and your family, and you can do all sorts of things to protect yourself, but at a certain point you've done all you can do. And then you have to let your faith take over.
Right. Yep.
And then you go to sleep like a baby.
You do, and I marvel at it. Okay, so we've gone over a lot of bit, and so Brian, I'm not going. Can Ryan hear me? Mm-hmm. I'm not going
can
to.
hear you.
Okay, I'm not going to play any more the clips until the end. You know, so when people say goodbye to each other. But I think that we should give stuff
Perfect.
away. What do you think? Let's give stuff
I
away.
think
There it
we're
is,
ready
right
to
there.
rock and roll.
We're ready to rock and roll. Dora?
First name's already been randomized.
Oh, first name has been randomized. If you entered this room,
At the auction, postcard 900.
postcard from Carrie to Debbie is at 900 with Debbie's clock. And what was the other one?
The dress is at 600.
And this is at 600, the dress. So that being said, if you entered this room tonight, your name has been put in the randomizer automatically, or Ryan actually did that, right, Ryan?
I did.
Okay, so you are eligible to win one of 8 prizes. Number 1 goes to the randomizer picked, Barbara Rue. Barbara Rue, you have won a $25 gift certificate to catcosmetics.com. That's my company. And this is going to be, this will be a code that is emailed to you. Yes, emailed. And it has been lovingly donated by Jolene Counter.
Now,
And
speaking of
yes.
inflation, have you raised any of your prices over the last 6 months?
I hadn't, but I had to on a couple of things this week because the costs are going up so much for me.
Yes, that's what I
yeah.
mean.
So, but I'm trying so hard not to. But there's a few
No, but
things
it's real.
that maybe, you know, $1 or $2 or something like
Well,
that.
first of all,
But
everything.
it's because the cost of making it has
I
gone
don't.
up.
Well, it's not just that. I don't think people understand that. Like, take plastic for example.
Yeah.
That's petroleum based. So if oil prices go up, it costs more to make this plastic anything. Imagine
Yes.
all the plastic stuff that we have. That's petroleum based. So it's
Yeah.
not only labor, and labor is more expensive. People aren't showing up because they have benefits, and some people are staying away.
Right.
Some people are afraid to go back to work, whatever the case may be. So it's labor, but it's also, there is a real cost of hard goods going up that's affecting even the makeup business. You
Oh,
have
yes.
you have a
Oh,
lot
my
of
com-
mineral-based
Yeah,
products.
no, I don't have a lot of them, but everything I make is made with the highest quality of products. So I don't get things made outside the U.S. I don't buy my things in China. I have things made all in the USA. Everything, with the exception of a few things that I have made in Canada because there's an incredible lab there. But yes, I mean, it costs a lot to make makeup in the USA, but it's worth it to me because I can control it, and because, you control the animal cruelty. You don't make things that were tested on animals. It costs a lot more to test things on people, believe it or not, a lot more. And yet, if you have a conscience, then, you're not going to. I couldn't sleep at night.
It just made me think about it because I kept thinking for the last year and a half we've had the same gift certificates
And,
too.
and no, but anyway,
I think those
$25
have
from
to be
Jolene
raised up
Counter
to
goes Barbara
$26.50.
Rue, and I want to thank you so much, Jolene, so
To
much
adjust
for
it
that.
for the cost of inflation, we're gonna have to raise the gift certificates to $26.50.
You are so funny. All right, so, Tammy Wilson. I don't know if you have this, Tammy. Congratulations, you are the randomizer winner. And it is my CD, Spiritually Reconnecting Through Prayer, which is a hypnosis CD that I made for people that need to sleep and to help anxiety. This is my favorite thing I have ever made out of all the programs. And so if you have this already, Tammy, just shoot me a message. And also, winners, please contact Ryan at catandtoddlive@gmail.com because he's going to be in charge of getting all that information. And so congratulations, Tammy Wilson. And if you already have that, please let me know so we can make arrangements for you to get someone else. Oh, by the way, did someone donate that? Yeah, Barb Cavern donated that, and you know why? Because she had really bad anxiety, and we had a session, and she got the Spiritually Reconnecting with Prayer hypnosis CD, and it really helped her sleep and with her anxiety. So she has been really great to donating this. So thank you, Barb Cavern. All right, number
A quick
3.
reminder, though.
Okay.
Quick reminder on the postcard.
On the
I just want to say that I am unaware of really anything of Carrie's out there that's in her hand.
Right.
I'm unaware.
Right.
And so again, to have this is a thing written to my mother from Carrie in sort of the Debbie code.
Right.
And it's also obviously got a little something on there from Billy. But it's signed Carrie Francis. So I think it's a very rare, the rarest of the rare. I mean, if I saw this myself, I would buy this on the internet.
Right.
I mean, this is the kind of thing, if that was leaking out there. Now, hopefully, Carrie used to write people postcards.
Yes.
So there are postcards out there that I'm sure people have kept.
Carrie, for one of my birthdays, she gave me a hilarious set of. She went to some place in London when she was there working on Star Wars, and she was, finding old pictures of strange people or people doing strange things, and she bought me a whole bunch of these postcards, and it was just so funny. She loved postcards.
Well, she loved postcards, but she also loved to buy things that she thought people would love or appreciate.
Yes.
And she knew my mother liked to hear from her.
Right.
And as she traveled, my mother used to get nervous because you never know what was going to happen to Carrie. But if she's with Billy, it's a little better scenario because she's mom.
Right.
So she's going to respond a little differently to her day-to-day activities.
Okay, so Mariana, what were you going to say?
A couple of questions about when will the auction close?
The auction will close
At the end of the
at the
giveaways.
end of at the end of the giveaway. So
End
at
of-
number
At the
7.
end of the
giveaway
giveaway.
of 8. Number 7.
Okay,
Auction
after
will
number
close.
Okay.
No, but that's
Very
why I brought
soon.
it up, because if this is your last chance, if you have an interest in the Carrie postcard and the clock. So my mom's clock, it's Carrie. That came right out of my mother's chest. I pulled it out of there a couple hours ago because I wanted to put something else with it that made sense.
Yes.
And
No, it's incredible.
it's a good package.
So I would say we have maybe 3 minutes or 4 minutes left on the auction, okay?
It's soon.
All right, so our next randomizer
I'll
winner.
switch over. Give me this.
Okay. Oh, this is a $25 gift certificate donated by Amy Perkins. Amy, thank you so much. Amy and Todd, thank you very, very much. And I met their boys and their twins at the fair, and they drove 6 hours each way to come see me. I mean, I
Wow.
don't take that lightly. That's amazing. Amy, thank you for donating this, and it goes to Sandy Pederzini. Sandy Pederzini, you have won a $25 gift certificate, lovingly donated by Amy Perkins. Thank you, Amy. Congratulations, Sandy. Now we have to hear from these folks. If you could look for that for the people that are wieners, that they're here. So if Sean Hintz. Sean, you have won. And Barbara, is this from you? Barbara Hammond. You know what is so weird? You give stuff all the time for us to give away, which is so
well,
much.
that's what's cool, though. People get to actually see the person that's giving the stuff away.
That's exactly right. But and it's like, oh, this is lovingly donated by Barbara Hammond, who is sitting next to me over here. It's just so great. It's so fun. You know how great. I'm so happy. We've had a lot of fun the last few days. We have. Barbara Hammond has donated first of all, Sean Hintz. Oh, you know what?
Now, is that a man?
No, this
Sean Hintz is a
no,
man?
Sean I think is a woman.
Well, I'm
for
just
sure.
asking.
It's a woman. Yeah, it's a woman.
Well, isn't that one of those names that goes
Sean
either
can
way?
go either way.
Yeah.
Like it's Pat.
Sean,
That's right.
Sean.
You have won. This is the new bronzer. Yeah. You have won Naturally Sun-Kissed. This is a mineral bronzer that I love this bronzer.
See, I just brought up minerals, and you said I don't have that
You know
many.
what's funny? I'm not a big minerals fan, but I have a few products that I just think are phenomenal, and this is one of them.
Well, you
we
realize
sold out of
that
this pretty
human
quick.
beings are about 80% carbon, and that's a mineral.
We're minerals.
We are minerals.
All right, and you also got, oh my gosh, Sean, you hit the jackpot.
Ooh, that's
You
that's one
also
of my
got,
favorite
in
things.
addition to Naturally
kabuki.
Sun-Kissed, you got the kabuki brush, which is super soft. If it was a man, you'd marry this brush. That's how good it is. This brush it costs a fortune to make this.
Well, you had enough of them made that you haven't had to make
No,
them in
I
a
had
while.
thousands of these made. But it's such a good brush. It's so
And no kabukis were hurt in the making of that
no,
brush.
exactly. No
we didn't kill
kabukis,
any kabukis,
but
and we didn't and we didn't test it on any kabukis either.
no. But this brush is cut so beautifully. People don't understand what it takes to make a brush, the craftsmanship of a really good brush. Oh, this is an expensive brush, Sean. You are going to love this. Oh, this is great. Wait, Sean, there's more. You have also been given and gifted a Wonder Puff from Barbara Hammond. And this is amazing. Made in the USA, antibacterial, antimicrobial. So if you're using sponges on your face.
And cats have slept in all the packages.
Huh? That's right. The cats
They all
love them.
slept with it.
You can wash it. So if you wash it with Dawn dishwashing detergent and then rinse it well, don't like thrash it because it will last a long time. But take care of it. This is an amazing thing for putting makeup on. Also, my favorite thing to use it for is blending makeup. Barbara Hammond, thank you so much. Oh, Joshua Dixon has donated. No, he won. Joshua Dixon won. Yay, Josh. He did donate too, and so I was thinking, Josh, thank you. I know that you've been going through some stuff, Josh, and so we really appreciate. Now, Josh, if you already have this, let us know. Write me or Ryan. But you have won a copy of Todd's book, My Girls, about Debbie and Carrie, and Todd, Debbie, and Carrie, and his life with his mom and sister. And he will sign it to you or to whoever you'd like to have it signed to if you're going to gift it to somebody. But I don't know if you already have this or not. I don't think you do. So
We'll
let
give
me know,
him a
Josh.
DVD if he doesn't. I'll
Yes.
pick a DVD out.
We
for him.
will make it so. So there you go. The next person to win. Hey, Heather Pearson, April DeShields. Hey, guess what, Frank? Tomorrow's our day off. That's our day. I work till noon at the convention tomorrow.
And then
after
you have
that,
to pack out.
I have to pack out. But I'll be home in the afternoon, and we're going to FaceTime with you, Farouche, because I miss you so much. I haven't had time to breathe, and I'm so sorry that we haven't been in touch like we usually are. But I just want you to know that tomorrow, I promise, face to face, baby, you and me and Todd tomorrow. Okay, here we go. Next prize. Janie Seiss. She told me something about how to pronounce her last name. When I read it, I was like, oh my God, I've known Janie
Seiss
for
sounds
a
right.
really long time. If I'm saying it wrong, Janie, I'm really sorry, but I'm half out of my mind with exhaustion. So
But Seiss would.
Seiss.
Sounds
Seiss,
right.
Cease. You know what, Janie? You won. You're the wiener. And what did Janie win? She won. Janie. And you know what? I just did some cameos. So if you haven't gotten your cameo yet, you're about to get them because we I just finished them. But you, Janie, you have won a personal cameo from me. From Sharon Amorosa. Sharon Amorosa donated this personal cameo, and I'm on it, baby, because I know you. So I'm excited about this. Now, Todd, you should do cameos. You should. Thank you, and Sharon Amorosa, and congratulations, Janie. Cease.
Sice.
Okay.
Sounds right.
Oh my gosh, I think I know. Is this from you? Who's this from?
This is for Catherine Bradley.
Catherine Bradley.
From
You,
Barbara Hammond.
I thought so, because Barbara was bragging on this product just last night. So we came out with a face oil because I have really dry skin, and many people do. This is a rose oil, and if you don't use anything else, this is an amazing product. It's very light. You put it on your skin before you go to bed at night. It is so beautiful. But if you use our moisturizer, which a lot of people out there do, this will stretch that moisturizer out to another month, because you can put. Do you put it in the moisturizer, or do you put? Barbara puts a few drops in the elastin collagen cream. I just put this straight up on my face, and then I put the collagen cream on after that. But oh, Barbara Hammond, what a great gift. And Catherine Bradley, congratulations. That's a great gift. Thank you. You know what? I'm going to oil my rooster's combs with this. I usually use olive oil. My neighbor uses Vaseline on her chickens.
No, that's.
The auction is
You
Auction
could use the depth.
is-
Well,
we
we
have to
use
give
one
them a
last
minute.
update to the
We have
auction?
to give the minute.
Oh, I
We're
was gonna
60
s-
seconds
Yes.
away.
Can we give an update?
Yes, we
Okay,
can
we'll
give
do
an
a
update.
final update. So
Final
if you-
update is this, and remember we're on a delay.
If you want to participate,
Update. The postcard is $1,350. That's what it's up to. The dress is up to $600. And so I don't know who's bidding on what, but those are the
Last
prices.
chance, though.
And this is your last chance. The clock starts now at 60 seconds. There you go.
now I was going to say that
Somebody
the
please
Debbie
keep a
cream.
time
We
on
haven't
that.
given any Debbie cream away in a long time.
No, we're going to do that next week.
Now that would go well on a rooster comb.
You know what? It would. And my roosters, because it's summer and so hot,
My mother swore by it.
that,
night that could burn actually the comb.
why?
It doesn't have any sunblock or
Oh, yeah, they're out in the sun.
Oh, please.
But I use olive oil, so
Well, that doesn't have sunblock in it.
it doesn't have sunblock in it. But they don't lay out in the sun. They actually, yes, we're down to 40 seconds. That's
Last
right.
chance on the auctions.
All right. We're going to do
and-
that, and then we'll do the next wiener.
Last item.
Last call. We are just,
And the last item up.
and okay.
How many items
are
did I give away
closed.
when I
okay,
was
the
doing the
auction
show on
is
my own?
closed. Let me give away the next thing.
I know I went beyond what she did. I was
Everyone's
my own.
talking, and I'm giving things away. We have to.
Hit it.
Julie Matson.
Julie Matson, you are
Julie
the winner.
Maston, you are the wiener, and you. Now this says.
she donated that.
Oh, Catherine Bradley. She just won. Isn't that cool? Instant karma. Catherine Bradley just won, and Catherine Bradley donated this as a gift to the show for Julie Maston. Thank you, Catherine Bradley. I think that's fun. You know,
That's
it's only
cool.
happened twice where someone won and was a giver. So it's great. So you have won a $25 gift certificate to catcosmetics.com. Congratulations, Julie Maston and Catherine Bradley. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Jolene Counter, Barbara Hammond. So that is it. We are done giving stuff away. We have to announce the wieners. And
All right, that's it on the auction then. Close up the auction,
that's
right?
right. The auction has been closed, yeah.
Okay.
So we're waiting, Ryan, and let's see.
So Frank 2,200, Frank.
Frank Ferruccio, you got both. Frank,
Jeez.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Ferruccio, congratulations. I'm telling you, Frank,
Well, he asked
I am thrilled.
for
because,
something special.
Yeah, and let me tell you, this is really special, and the clock is really special, and no one has this. So, Frank, you are a true collector, and so I'm really happy that you got this, because this is a true collector's piece. A true collector's piece, and I'm just thrilled.
What was the final bid on that? I couldn't see.
For,
$2,200 from Frank for the postcard
oh,
Wow.
people bid a
and
lot.
600
I mean, that
on the
many-
dress.
Yes. So
I'm going to tell you something just so you understand. I mean, because I know that sounds like a lot, but I have paid more than that for things even less. Like
no, they're good buys.
I mean, that's not
the
that
postcard is
for
insane.
for a it's one thing like there's people autograph a card or a picture or something. There's like a million of those floating around, but there's nothing like this. So when you find documents that are rare and they say something personal or interesting or around a person's career, that changes the game entirely. Like when I buy, like I have a Walt Disney letter written to my mother, and I had to buy that. And I paid a lot of money for it. Now, Walt Disney's signature is worth whatever, but I paid way more because of the way it was written to my mom and the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
and I just bought that. I just bought a Liz Taylor Christmas card, little Christmas label that was on a Christmas package to my dad, and it says, love me, like in an empathetic way, and it's signed Elizabeth to Eddie, and it's so personal. I had to buy it, and I paid a lot of money for it.
I bet.
But it's where in
Is
the
it
hell?
here yet?
Oh, I have it. It's
Oh,
in
I
the,
wanna
I
see
put it in
that.
the display case.
I leave town for a few weeks, and you acquire a massive piece of
Well,
memorabilia. That's amazing. I
Here's
wanna
why
see
it's
it.
important also is because in my life, we would do the Christmas presents, and Eddie was long gone, and Carrie and I were getting to be old enough to, sort of question the realities of Santa Claus. And Carrie walked up to me one day and she showed me a little card, very much like that card, and it said, "To Carrie, love Santa." And then she showed me another one that said, "To Carrie, love Mom." And she showed me another one that said, "To Carrie, love Eddie, love Daddy, Daddy Eddie." We used to call him Daddy Eddie. And she said, "You notice anything weird about this?" And I was like, "No."
The same
She has
handwriting.
the same handwriting.
I knew it.
And I was like, "Oh, wow, I really didn't need to know that." I mean, I was living in my blissful sense that there was a Santa Claus and my father was giving me gifts, and I just found out that A, my father's not giving me gifts, and neither is Santa Claus. In fact, my mother is both now my father and Santa Claus. That was the reality of, thank you for that consciousness, Carrie. But this was the same kind of Christmas tag. I recognized that type of, had the little hole in the corner where the ribbon would go through to
Right.
hold it on the package. And it's her, Elizabeth, it's very personal. And that's why this postcard, it's crazy personal on so many
Yeah.
different levels.
And I'm thrilled that a collector got it because
On our next
that's
show,
just
by the
such a
way,
piece.
I'll bring on the Elizabeth piece for
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
to see.
I want to see it.
It's something else. It's
Maybe
something
I'll
else.
see it for the first time on the show. That would be fun for me. But let me just say this before we go. Ryan, is there anything update that you want to give at all? Are you all good over there? We're going to do. We'll play the gift. We'll play that video for the end while people say goodbye to each other.
Sounds good.
Okay, but before we do, I would just like to give a minute of silence for our Marines that we lost in this terrible tragedy. And I would also like to say that there's a lot of you out there that are going through stuff, and I'm aware, and I'm going to go through these again, and you will be in our prayers tonight without question. So I see you and I feel you, and you will be in our prayers tonight. Thank you for sharing your life here. It's a lot, and I appreciate it. It's very transparent. It's not easy to do, and you're doing it. That's what that gets. Okay, so if we could just now, before we go to the end, which I think you're going to like the last video because it's the end of my show, and
It's the best thing
it's the
ever.
gift. So here we go. If somebody could time us, please, for the
Timer's right there.
Okay. We're going to get a minute of silence right now for our Marines, and we'll start right now. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate that. So I will see you next Friday night. I'm going to be really excited to do that show. I want to thank, first of all, Mariana. You haven't been on camera tonight.
Come on down.
Come on up here. Come on. You look at you. I am looking at you. You look fresh as a daisy. And Barbara Hammond, I want to thank you for coming to visit and for all you do for this show.
And next time she needs to sing.
You know what? When the recording studio is up and at 'em, you're coming back, and we're doing it. It's just the way it is. Get over it. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna have fun doing it. We're gonna tape it. Or Facebook Live. It'll be fun. Barbara Hammond has a gorgeous voice. Now, I don't know if you can come on over here, and you can be in my.
She's in.
Will you
Yeah.
hide my arms?
She's in.
This lady, she is my road warrior. I mean, when I tell you that I don't know two women our age that could pull off the.
Oh, your age.
I'm serious. We
How
go
long
out
have you guys been together? Think
almost
about
12
that.
years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, almost 12 years. We met each other in a rapid induction seminar.
Class.
Instant induction.
Instant inductions. So, but you know, I only use them once in a while, and I don't use them for the show because I want people deep, right?
Yep.
But there are somnambulists. You can put them down like that. I mean, it's incredible, but they're not, garden variety.
Yeah, correct.
But we have fun. She does come with. We have adventures that we call it, right?
Yep.
So if I'm going on the road, because she's a hypnotist, she understands that sound and that what I need, and and she knows how to handle the bodies, as we say. And I'll turn around and I'll see her do this, and they're out. You know what I mean? Because we've already set the stage. But thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's my absolute pleasure. Heartfelt.
Oh,
Heartfelt,
thank
'cause I
you.
love you.
Oh, I love you too. I love best. But Brian, thank you for going out on the
Yes.
road with me because you made it so
was fun.
fun.
Miss you. Miss you.
You bring
Big time.
order to my life.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm going to tell you real quick before I go. She knows
I'm the
exactly.
heavy. I'm always the heavy.
You are the heavy, but
Okay,
I love that.
before we go, let me just say that Ryan he won't let me spend money on the road. I'm serious. He'll say, we're here to
You-
make
listen,
money,
this is
not
not a story
spend
for
money.
everyone.
I'm telling this story because this is so true. So I'm hungry, and I'm standing at, I'm working, I'm hungry. And now we have a beautiful dressing room, and, there's food everywhere, and, we're in a beautiful house that we rented for the trip. But I'm hungry. So he's standing in line getting God knows what, ice cream or something. And I said, he has the money. So I look at him and I said, Ryan, I'm hungry. I want to get a piece of pizza. And so he takes the money out and he peels off he goes, piece of pizza is $4. And he gives it to me and I'm like,
And I want the receipt.
and I said, and a Coke and a tip. And he's like, and he gives
$2
me
more
look
dollars.
at him, $2 more. And he hands it to me. And I said, I feel like Britney Spears.
Ha!
Because you're giving me just enough money to
Good night,
survive.
everybody.
So everybody,
Thank
you.
God for you, buddy.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to be an
My
adult in the
job,
room.
It's my job.
it is, but he does it well. But I did feel like Britney Spears. So I just want to say thank you so much, everybody. And Barbara Hammond, thank you. And Dora Elena Fernandez, thank you. And John Haas, you give up your Saturday nights for us. And I love you. And this has just been great. So we'll see you next week for sure. And I'll be around Facebook more
I
this
told
week.
you if you came
Here
up
we
here,
go.
I was going to
Say
give you
goodnight.
something, the chance, the opportunity to change something in your life. Maybe something that's been holding you back. It's called the gift. It's for you, but it's also for you. And here we go. Each and every person in this room, especially the ones on stage with your eyes closed. Life is a funny journey. Well, it's not always funny. Sometimes it actually is a little bit painful. And sometimes it's just so full of joy. And a lot of that time, we are in charge of that. Well, we can't be in charge of everything because we can't control what other people do and say, but we can control what we do and say and how we react to things. Some people say, oh, nobody can hurt you if you don't let them. Well, that's not true. I call that psychobabble. People say hurtful things, and yes, it can affect us. But all of that happens when we're really young, and then sometimes as we grow up and go through school and high school, people say things that really stick with us because conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And when people say things to you, it goes right into the subconscious mind, which takes everything as fact. So what I want you to do is I want you to think back if anyone has ever said anything to you that was unkind or nicked your confidence. I want you to know that that can go right now. And I'm going to tell you the story of you. You are handsome. You are beautiful. You're talented. You're well able. You can do anything you put your mind to. And there's the secret, isn't it? Anything you put your mind to. So if you have a dream, I want you to make it a vision. I want you to just close your eyes, and I want you to see something that you want to change in your life. Maybe you want to change your work. Maybe you want to change where you live, move. Maybe you want to find the love of your life. Maybe you want to stop smoking, lose weight, break an addiction. Whatever it is, just know that you're going to be able to have many dreams in your life. That's the beauty of being an American, is that we aren't. No one just does one thing, do they? No. Your dreams might change over the years, and that's okay. Don't be stuck doing something you don't want to do, but have a vision for your life. Make sure the people that you hang out with, no matter what age you are good people that support you and your dreams. Make sure they're people who are worthy to be around. Because sometimes I like to say, if you want to know where your life is going to be in 5 years, look at the people you hang out with, and that's really true. But you see, I know you can make your dreams come true. I know this because you are loved. You've always been loved and will always be loved. You will never be alone. Not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. You are blessed. I know you can do whatever you put your mind to because you are blessed. You are blessed. You are blessed. So now, the last thing I want to leave you with is for you to know who you are. Because when you know who you are, no one else gets to define you, ever. You don't have to receive everything people say. But when someone gives you a compliment, what's the thing we do most of all? Oh, no. Don't do that. Say thank you. I receive it. Thank you. I receive it. On the other hand, if someone says something to you that is unkind, you can say, oh, no, I don't receive that. And you will be absolutely amazed at how it doesn't bother you. So now I just want to thank you. I want to thank you all, especially all of you on stage. All right. My days of concentration, my hours of this day have come to a close, and I loved spending it with you. I'm going to count from 1 to 10. When you hear me say the number 10, you're going to pop your eyes open, refreshed, relaxed, revived, awake and aware in every way, shape, and form. And if you ever need it, my voice will go with you. Have faith. It's a new day, child. 1, feeling really wonderful. 2, 3, remember you are loved and blessed. 4, you are fantastic. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You're talented and well able. You have everything inside of you to make a great life. Stay focused on that. 5, cool rivers rushing over your eyes. 6, spring wind rushing through your lungs. 7, all suggestions made by me earlier in the show completely gone. You are under no one's influence but your own. May you always know who the people who want your highest good are. They will help you. 9, you're going to be a little tired when you wake up, a little sleepy, like you just woke up from a nap. But hypnosis is not sleep. Therefore, when you wake up, you'll be relaxed for a minute, and after that, you're going to be full of life and energy and go have fun, make memories. When you get home tonight, you will sleep a beautiful, beautiful sleep. Waking up tomorrow feels full of confidence and faith and hope and dreams. And 10, pop your eyes open. open, everybody. Pop your eyes open. Hello, hello.